Okay, we are live. Finally, we're live. All right, excellent. Well, this is Larry OG, aka Liontamer. I'm head judge over at OC Remix. I'm the community manager. Welcome to OCR Talkback, number 39. I tried to do the show last week, and the microphone miserably screwed up. I'm sure I'm going to get tweets like, "Oh, it's not working." So if you're watching and all of a sudden the microphone starts turning into complete buzzing and nonsense, let me know and I'll cut the show short because it really catastrophically screwed up last time. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. It's nice to be with you guys all tonight. I just came from here in Atlanta. I just went to the Beehive with my wife, and we made some sugar scrubs. So, made several sugar scrubs, representing the men over at the Beehive ATL. So, it was nice. Good stuff. Treat your lady right and do some coupley things. That's always good. Remember, if you have questions tonight, hit us up on the Twitter, hashtag OCR Talkback, and I'll be happy to get to your questions. I am not a musician, so I can't answer questions like, hey, how do I get started? Well, I mean, maybe I can answer some basics of how you get started, but, it's like, my mixing is muddy. How do I fix that? Well, I can't tell you, bro. What's the creative process like? I can't tell you that either, but I can talk to you about video games and video game music. So tonight I'm screen sharing ocremix.org for a special episode on obscure OC remixes. So, or really, OC remixes of more obscure or, more kind of under the radar games that are awesome and that you should check out. Again, feel free to tweet questions with hashtag OCR Talkback, and I'll be getting to them. Again, hopefully the audio quality stays intact and doesn't jack up like it did last time. Meanwhile, like I mentioned, I'm on the ocremix.org front page. Oh, snap. John Cena, Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam on Sunday. Well, looking forward to that. Anyway, for all you pro wrestling people out there. Anyway, we're on the front page, so I guess let me just pimp some stuff that's on our main page carousel. Just that if you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out. Jillian Aversa has a great new video of her Generations track. It's a Zelda Ocarina of Time arrangement. It's called Generations. Get that from her Atlantis Awakening album. That's available on overclockrecords.com. So I recommend you get that. But do check out the video. It was actually filmed in Atlanta. So Jill was actually over at our place staying for about a week while she filmed this video and then one other video for Will of the Wisp from the Atlantis Awakening album. Both of the videos turned out hot. Really can't wait for the second one to drop as well. But yeah, do check it out. It's a sweet video directed by Landon Donahoe. He's awesome. The video is tight. Super, artsy, excellent, but you know what I mean. Super artistic and very creative. So great collaboration between the two, and I highly recommend that you check out that video and do check out her original album, Atlantis Awakening. That's the one VGM arrangement on there, but the whole album is excellent. In case you haven't seen it, we have a new Game Boy 25th anniversary album out that dropped on July 31st to celebrate the U.S. anniversary, the 25th anniversary of the Game Boy's release. The original one, the gray, or the kind of the green and gray, and it's awesome. 15 arrangements on there. They're all excellent, super unique stuff. Lots of classic games like Tetris, Super Mario Land, Pokemon, Zelda Link's Awakening. But also a lot of lesser-known titles like Solar Striker. So there's a big assemblage of stuff on there. Batman for the Game Boy. There's a pretty deep, eclectic mix of arrangements on there. All sweet. Do check them out. Again, it's called Legacy Game Boy 25th Anniversary. You can go to gameboy25.ocremix.org on that. At Overclock Records, we actually put out our first licensed album, a full Sonic the Hedgehog 1 arrangement album by OC Remix veteran Jive Master called the Green Hill Sessions, Yeah, do grab it. It's got sweet artwork by Sammy Briggs, a.k.a. The Smy. She is amazing, and this art looks just so pro, so ace. Do check that all out at overclockrecords.com. The album is $8.99, and you can stream the whole deal for free. So check it out, of course. Make sure you want it, and then support Jackmaster. Get it. It is fully licensed. That's why we can charge for it, but 100% licensed. Everything on the up and up. Well worth it. Of course, Super Mario 64: Portrait of a Plumber, directed by Nutritious. That album was a long time in the making. The artwork is sweet. I would definitely go ahead and get a hold of that. Portrait of a Plumber, we just dropped that not too long ago, album number 48. So we know album number 50 is coming soon. And if you want to show us some love, we could use your support on Patreon. We're a little bit over $2,200 for our $3,000 goal to apply for 501c3 status, so official nonprofit status, which would be super excellent for us. All in the pursuit of promoting video game music as an art form. And then also we're going to be we'll be using that funding to expand the capabilities of the site for a workshop that's more integrated with the site. And what that means is that when works in progress are added into our forums, or when people just have video game music arrangements that they want to share that don't necessarily get approved on OCR, they can be integrated into the database, so that's more music for the fans to check out. And across all sorts of games, all sorts of genres from a ton of artists, and more music for the fans is awesomeness. So hopefully, hopefully you will do that. Let's see what's going on. Let me answer a quick question on Talkback. Carl Servian's asking, are you or anyone at OCR going to be at any of the shows for Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions? Yeah, Zircon should be at the Philly show. I believe there's a Philadelphia show. He worked with Jaron and Chad on the show with the electronic stuff, the electronic arrangements. So, yeah, he's going to be at a show. I think, what was that, tonight? Or I do not remember. I'm going to have to look that up. Pardon my typing. Let's see. When's the date? I don't know. I gotta look at the date. Crestro Tour announced. Let's check it out. Oh, at Pokemon.com. How official is that? The artwork is so sweet. Yeah, if you haven't checked this out yet, by the way, Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions, you gotta check that out. It's by the team that put together Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses. Jaron Moore and Chad Sider. It's awesome. I highly encourage you to check it out. Yeah, August 15th tonight in D.C. actually. Oh, it's a D.C. show. And then August 16th they're doing a double. They actually added a show because of the popular demand. And then September 19th they're in Philly at the Mann Center. All going to be super awesome shows. Hopefully Zircon is at that tonight. He's in the Baltimore area, so hopefully he was able to hit that D.C. show. But yeah, if you're not there tonight and you're in the kind of the D.C., Maryland, Virginia, Northern Virginia area, get out to the show. There is another one tomorrow at the Warner Theater, so don't miss out on that. Again, Zircon, Andrew Versus helping on that, and Jaron Moore and Chad Sider, awesome folks. I think Susie Sider is going to be conducting. It's sweet. You got to go. Pokemon Orchestral Concert. It's going to be tight. So I highly recommended that you go there. Yeah, keep sending the questions with OCR Talkback. Actually, I got some. Got some more. I'll go back. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But I wanted to, since I don't want to bore anybody and stay on the homepage too long, let me just make sure. Hold on. What's this one question? All right, this is from last week actually. Yeah, but let me get to this one. Quantum Effect says, "Do video games give life more meaning for you?" Sure. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm not that. I mean, I love video games. I love video game music. Otherwise, I wouldn't be at OC Remix. Do they give life more meaning? I don't know. That sounds kind of frivolous to say yes, but I mean, I'll say this, right? So I really love video game music growing up, and working on OC Remix has been a great time. I've been on the staff for a little over a decade now, and yeah, it's pretty sweet. I enjoy hearing all sorts of video game music and hearing all sorts of different genres, getting to meet new artists and stuff like that. I'm seriously just a big fanboy that got a promotion. That's pretty much it. And yeah, I guess it gives my life meaning on that level. You know, promoting video game music as an art form. Do games give my life more meaning? Yeah, I guess so. Sure, why not? They are awesome, so you know, I'm all about that. So now tonight, I'm gonna get to some more questions. So definitely keep tweeting. You know, keep doing it. Oh, okay. One more shout out before we get to the meat of it. Let me show you on the forums. So Phoenix Down says, Larry, can I get one last shout out for the remix role playing compo? Let me kind of boost up my zoom up because I can see so much stuff that the people cannot. If you go in the general area of the website, we have a competitions forum, and there's voting for the remix role playing competition run by Phoenix Down. There's finals voting. Ano, sorry, Keskatalo versus Jason Covenant, representing Marth from Fire Emblem versus Pokey from Earthbound. Ain't that wow? So there's the finals voting on that, the hero bracket against the villain bracket. The final voting is going on. Check the thread for more details, but you can listen to both submissions. Vote for which one should win the competition, and also there's plenty of other free music from the various rounds that led up to the finals. So grab it, check it out. A kind of heroes versus villains format. It's pretty sweet. The remix role-playing compo, and we've got a lot of great active competitions that are going on. There's going to be some more stuff that drops after this one wraps up, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I mean, lots of good stuff, lots of hustle and bustle over at the forums. So be sure to hit that. All right, so we've got I've got 10 remixes I wanted to show you guys today. Again, hopefully my microphone holds up and doesn't get wonky and scary, because it kind of ruined the show last time. And I saw all the tweets and I saw all the questions. I was actually answering everything. I just thought there was some buzziness on the mic. I didn't realize everything was getting jacked up. So in any case, one thing I always stress, and it's one of the reasons why I'm such a super fan of OC Remix, is that there are a lot of great remixes from games that people just choose not to check out because they're not familiar with them. They don't have that, that history and that nostalgia with them. Maybe they didn't grow up playing those games. For example, I'm on the Adventures of Bayou Billy remix page. We only have 2. That kind of shows you that it doesn't have the popularity of, say, Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VII. But one of the things that we're really big on at OC Remix is that we accept remixes from any and all video games. So we love anything, and it might not seem that way because we have so many tracks from the super popular games. So Zelda and Mario and Sonic, Mega Man, Castlevania, Street Fighter, that kind of thing. Obviously, like I mentioned before, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, all that. Really, we just get a lot more submissions of those games because those are the super popular games with the super nostalgic music. But that doesn't mean that we don't welcome and encourage remixes from, like I said, any and all games. We love, just like we love any and all genres. Any artist can submit. There's no, despite what some people think, because it's a selective process, but people think there's a lot of politics, like, oh, if it's not from the super popular, you can't get it posted, you can't get it approved, and we're definitely not about that. We want everything. So, for example, I don't know, am I pimping in this? No, okay. Well, we get a little bonus pimpage right here because it's not on my list of 10 that I was going to plug. The Adventures of Bayou Billy, El Lagarto by Evil Horde, who happens to work for Rovio now. So if you like Angry Birds, hit up Evil Horde and tell him he's doing a great job. If you don't like Angry Birds, do not hit him up and tell him he's not doing a good job. I love Angry Birds. I think it's fun. It's good stuff. My wife enjoys it. And the birds are cute. In any case, Evil Horde back in 2008 sent in this amazing jazz mix, super upbeat, super energetic, called El Lagarto, which is Spanish for alligator. Grab it, it's so highly recommended. And even for people that are stinky and go, oh, video game music, well, if if you know people that are like, oh, I don't, if it's video game music and they kind of plug their nose at it, this is some super accessible jazz. You don't even have to tell anybody where it's from. It's great stuff. A combination of two different themes from Viability. The main kind of stage theme that's used in a bunch of the stages, including stage 1, and then the gun shooting stage 4 theme. But I'm going to go through 10 different examples, and like I said, we've got over 2,900 remixes up on the site so far. There's so many that aren't from the major franchises, like I kind of ran through before. Donkey Kong Country and Mega Man, Sonic, and all that, and Castlevania and all that. Do check them out. We have free torrents. Let me direct you up to the top of the website. The links at the very top are present on every page, including the torrents link. Everything is free and legal, just in case you're maybe a little bit more of a fair weather fan, and you're kind of like, oh, well, I don't get the torrents because I don't want AT&T or Comcast to send me I don't know, a summons or something about my torrenting. No, if you're afraid of torrents, these are legal torrents. They're mega legal. We want you to download these torrents. We have all of our albums available. And we also have were they at the bottom? At the bottom, yes. We've got our various torrents here, if you'll kind of see where I'm highlighting. For the first 2,500 remixes, I highly recommend you grab all 3 sets of these torrents, 1 through 1,000, 1001 to 2000, and 2001 to 2500. We're going to update it again when we hit remix number 3000. We're about 40 mixes away. I highly recommend that you grab everything because, look, there are so many awesome OC remixes that are from games that you may not have played or that you don't know. And if you check them out and you like the music, it'll introduce you to some awesome games you could pick up on Virtual Console or, get via emulators. And you'll just encounter a lot of genres, a lot of soundtracks and artists that maybe you weren't familiar with that you think are really worth checking out. One day we're going to bring the Alpha Nav back, but in the meantime, do check all this stuff out. If you look at just like the letter A, we don't have any super mega franchises there, but look at that: ActRaiser, Adventure Island, Age of Empires, Alex Kidd, Alicia Dragoon, Alundra, and that's a Schnaboobala track for anybody that is a big fan of Schnaboobala stuff. He's done one from Alundra back in 2005. It's great, but because it's from Alundra, it doesn't get as much attention as, say, his Chrono Trigger Metroid material. Anyway, let's go through 10 tracks. I recommend that you check all of these out. Again, feel free to tweet your questions during the show with hashtag OCR Talkback. Let me just check it real quick, and like I said, I hope my microphone holds up because this is a very important show that I'd like to do. Let's see what's going on. Oh, awesome! Haha. So, Platonist Jonas Lohman says, "Waking up early paid off." He's watching at 4:19 a.m. in European time. That's awesome. So, yeah, no, thanks for watching, bro. I'm a big fan of your stuff. Love your Solar Jetman mix in particular. But let me go through. Let me just go through. I was going to answer. Oh yeah, Brandon Strader asked last week when I attempted to do the show and it jacked up, and I saw all these questions, but I'll answer them again. Just so you don't weasel out of this, out of answering this, because I asked it a week ago. What is your favorite Nicolas Cage movie? Face Off. Duh. I mean, sorry. I mean, maybe for the ladies it's Moonstruck, but Face Off for me. And then follow-up question, when are you going to have a Nicolas Cage tribute album? I guess when you make it, because that's the only way it's happening. So, yep. All right. Anyway, let's go through a couple of remixes, and then I will go ahead and answer some more questions. So the reason I'm doing this show is because we got this lovely tweet from Elizabeth. She said, "So every time I go check out OC Remix and see new mixes for games that are rarely remixed, I get disappointed a lot." Which I actually like seeing that tweet, because to me it says there's somebody that goes outside of the norm and is willing to check out remixes from games that they're not familiar with. So, Elizabeth, you rock. Thank you for mentioning that. You know, as I answered right here, I said the nostalgia of the most popular games is a powerful thing, and we'd always love more obscure games covered. And that's absolutely true. I'm a big advocate for that. But like we mentioned in our FAQ, it's seriously up to what the artists send in. So again, you know, we get a lot of Mario and we get a lot of Mega Man, you know, Dr. Wily Stage 1, you know, theme and all that, because that's what the artists want to do. And so, you know, we're willing to point them in other directions, and there are request forms, for example, that you can check out. But at the same time, we don't actively push people to arrange certain games. Like there's no cutoff for how many Chrono Trigger remixes will allow, and that's why there's more than 100. So, you know, as much as I'd love to hear more Deus Ex mixes, and we just posted one a couple days ago, we don't have as many. So, you know, anything that the artists are willing to put out and do for obscure games, we love them, and we have no bias toward that. So anyway, let's go and cover a few, and go through 10 that I personally recommend. These aren't like the best remixes ever of all time, but, you know, it's not about their quality. They're all very strong remixes. It's about the fact that they're from games that don't get as much recognition and thus might get overlooked by a fan that really wants to stick more into their comfort zone. Again, the whole point is, please, with OC Remix, we really try and establish a high quality bar. Pretty much if it gets posted to the site these days, that means that it's pretty strong musically. And so please, please, please check everything out, whether or not you know the game or not. So the first mix I'm going to talk about was posted in mid-06, a remixer named Erik S. It's from the Commodore Amiga game Awesome. The name of the game is Awesome. It's a space shoot 'em up, with music by Tim Wright, aka Cold Storage. We actually have an interview with Cold Storage up on OC Remix. So if you search the interview section, we had a great time having Tim Wright field our questions. He's pretty awesome, and his music for Awesome, this is actually pretty sweet. I'm just going to talk just in kind of generalities about these tracks because I'm not a musician, but it's got a really sweet driving beat to it and a very space. The mixing is very space-like. It's certainly evocative of outer space stuff, just because everything sounds very distant. But the beats are hot, the synths are sweet, and it's got a really great thumping bass kick to it that drives it. Like I said, the beat is tight here. This is honestly, just for me personally, I'm not saying, you know, from overall quality level or overall creativity or anything like that, but just from personal stuff, I would honestly put this maybe in my top 5 of anything I've ever heard from OC Remix, just because I really, really like the style and the mood of the track. So just do it for Larry, you know what I'm saying? Do it for Larry Lair, and check this one out. It's called Game Over Cheeze Mix. There's actually nothing cheesy about it, so I'm not sure. Even Dave DJ Pretzel mentioned it in the write-up. He's like, I don't know what's cheesy about it. There's really nothing cheesy about it. It's actually really sweet. Go ahead and check that out. That's remix number 1490, added in 2006. It is aged very, very nicely. Let's go a little bit earlier in the site's history to 2004 with a Commander Keen 4 arrangement by analoq. I don't even know how to pronounce that. sich galaxie. Anyway, I'm sorry. Was that German? I don't know. Sorry, guys. No disrespect. Commander Keen 4, Secret of the Oracle. This is a remix of the track Tropical Ghost Oasis. Yeah, it opens with some super distant stuff. This is spacey as well. I don't know if there's a bias, if I have a personal bias toward spacey tracks, but this track was part of the mix flood for the unveiling of the 4th version of OC Remix, the 4th site design, back in May 2004. This came out this is about 6 weeks before I joined the staff as one of the judges. So it's got a nice place in my heart. These are all awesome mixes. analoq doesn't send too much stuff in any longer, but all of his stuff really is sweet. on OCR. He's a super talented musician, and I was certainly honored to work with him on the judges panel back in the day. It's got some sweet vocoded lyrics in them, but for people that dislike lyrics in OC remixes, and I shake my fist at you because that's very closed-minded, but there are some lyrics, but it's not really anything that's sung. It's really kind of more spoken word stuff that's vocoded. So it's not really about the lyrics in there. So it's not really singing. It's just kind of something that adds a little bit to the flavor of it. But it's got a really, really sweet 80s vibe to it as well with the sounds. And Commander Keen, if you're a fan of Doom or anything like that, Bobby Prince did the music for that. He also did a lot of the stuff from the Commander Keen series. So I'd recommend that you check all that out. It's a really relaxed vibe. Picks up a little bit more, not in tempo, but just in energy. After a drop-off transition, it's pretty sweet. Do grab it. Highly recommended right there. I'm going in alphabetical order, so let's get real quick to the third one. Big fan of this because all of her stuff is amazing. Kate the Great, otherwise known as Eruton. Check her out at erutonmusic.com. You can also look her up, Kate the Great 19, Kate Covington. She's in the South Kakalaki. She's an amazing vocalist and instrumentalist. I'm going on this one because it's a little bit more obscure. Dark Cloud for the PS2, a remix of the Village Festival, and here it has vocals as well, but it's just la 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 lay 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 stuff in there, so no actual no real words, just kind of just basic singing in there. But Kate, the stuff that's amazing about all of her tracks, she, like I've said in comments I've said in the past, I think with her World of Warcraft mix that's on the site, she is a one-woman army. I'm such a big fan of her stuff on both original and arrangement, so I highly recommend that you check all of her stuff out. She's got Final Fantasy material on the site as well, Xenogears. We've got some more Silent Hill. We've certainly got more on the way from Kate, and you should check it out. But like I said, the thing that's awesome about her is she's a one-woman army, and everything is live. Everything is performed live. All the instruments are performed live. Multi-tracked, of course. So all the instruments and vocals are performed live. She's got a great new age style. She does new age, ambient, just a beautiful voice. Everything of hers is recommended. But again, because Dark Cloud is not as super popular, this one maybe doesn't get the attention of some of her other more sort of famous remixes. But yeah, if you check her out, she's got 5 mixes on the site. The first one was the Rose General back in 2009. So we've had about a mix a year from her. But actually, her when we tweeted her Xenogears track, Hymn of Ave, to Yasunori Mitsuda, he was like, I got to work with her. So I think maybe I hope their communication didn't drop off, because one of the things that Kate is big on is Celtic music as well, and so is Yasunori Mitsuda, for anybody that's checked out some of the Arrange albums that he's done while at Square Enix. But yeah, all 5 of Kate's mixes, grab all of those, and of course do visit her homepage, erutonmusic.com, and her YouTube channel's got a ton more arrangements, so many of which aren't on OCR, so make sure you check it out. Check out sort of her full body of work. But yeah, for obscurity's sake, I would say the most quote-unquote obscure game is Dark Cloud that she's tackled and that she submitted to OCR. Make sure to grab that. All of her stuff is seamless. I'm a huge fan. Let's move on next to remix number 4. Again, I'm going alphabetical order with the game, so and there's so many. So if I skip something that you're like, oh, it's from Salamander, and you didn't play it, well, what can I do, bro? Sorry. There's so many, so 10 is not possible to cover everything. It's just giving you a flavor. Final Doom, Milagro del Demonio. The Demon's Miracle of the Demon. Great stuff from Lee Erik, the Orichalcon. I love his work. This was back in 2006. It's in a what 7/4? Yeah, 7/4 time. And for a little bit more, not like intense, but a more kind of it's not a theme that you'd expect to hear a remix like this, where he used something that that Lee said sounded almost like kind of a flanged Hawaiian-ish guitar. It sounds just like some sort of kind of really odd synth lead, but it's very tight, good groove, great percussion that drives the track along. It's super overlooked because everybody knows the Doom, especially Doom 1 and Doom 2, but Final Doom just doesn't get that same level of notoriety. For anybody that's been a longtime fan of OCR, we've got arrangement albums of Doom. We've got Doom, The Dark Side of Phobos from the first one, and we've got Doom 2, Delta Q Delta, which the Orichalcon actually directed. But do grab this mix as well. It's got kind of a jazzy flavor. Like I said, the percussion is tight. The bass line that intros it is a great hook. So as soon as you hear that opening bass line come in, I think you'll realize that this is a track that's certainly worth checking out. Okay, I can't wait for this next one. This is sweet. From Sonicade. Yeah, man, from IDOS. Hitman, Contract Cleaner. This one was sweet. Came out mid 09 on the website. It's orchestral, but it's got a fairly driving beat to it as well that pushes the track forward. Sonicade, this was actually he doesn't submit too often, Kentaro Fisher, but his stuff is pretty sweet. He's got an FF9 mix as well, You Are Not Confined, so this had been something that he sent in after nearly 6 years of having kind of that one-hit wonder status. So I'm always glad when people kind of graduate from one-hit wonder status. We've got so many one-time remixers that I'd love to hear more material from them. Jesper Kid, you may recognize him from Darksiders. We've got a good Darksiders mix from Brandon Strader. He's also got some stuff, old style stuff from Sega Genesis Red Zone. He also did the Adventures of Batman and Robin on Sega Genesis, which is sweet. But he's got a lot of other major modern soundtracks that are out there. Do recommend the Darksiders series for that music as well. But Sonicade, if you like driven orchestral music, you've got to get this. It's great because it's a great kind of orchestral and then electronica hybrid. I'm digging it. And the main theme, the track that it's an arrangement of, is much slower. So this really adds a great deal more energy to it. And that's not criticizing the original because the original is sweet. It's just saying, much like we come to expect with OC ReMixes, this certainly takes a different spin on it, gives it a different mood and a different feel compared to the original music. So, very cinematic. You could definitely see some sort of, scene developing with music like this in the background. So, if anybody wanted to score something to it, that'd be pretty tight. Next up, if you like to rock, Midee and Prozax will bring it to you. Life Force. I mentioned Salamander earlier. This is the Americanized name of Salamander. So Life Force from the NES. This is a 2004 mix by Midee and Prozax along with Dave Kellogg called Tactile Freefall. DJ P called it a Life Force tour de force. It's really, really awesome. Konami shooters always have great music. Konami in general, just as a company, has phenomenal music. But everybody knows Castlevania, and we got to show some love to stuff that's we got to show some stuff to Gradius and Salamander, stuff like that. I love how Brandon Strader, he tweeted again, "What is your favorite Nicolas Cage movie?" Well, I answered that earlier, so you missed it. So you'll have to rewind the show. What is it? Yeah, we're always big on rock stuff. I think another criticism that I'll just tackle right now that I've heard of OC ReMixes, oh, it's all like electronic and techno, and the only people that say that are people that do not listen to all of what's available on OC Remix, or haven't been around for a long, long, long time, because now that home studio setups and high quality samples and your recording equipment and stuff like that, now that all that stuff is a lot higher quality and a lot cheaper in price compared to 10 years ago, there's just so much more genre variety on the site, and there has been for actually a long, long time. Again, even if you check some of the earliest remixes, like especially by DJ Pretzel, there's been all sorts of different genres represented. So from the beginning, we've always welcomed everything. So send it all. Rock, metal, we love it. Jazz, we love it. Piano, acoustic guitar, we love it. Acid, we love it. Dubstep, we love it, even if people don't love it. Hip hop, rap. We want all styles. We don't have any reggae or country. I'm always saying that. Those are like my two go-tos. We don't really have any of that yet, but we're waiting for it and we want it. So bring it. But yeah, Midee and Prozax have some sweet collabs up on the site. What's the other one I'm thinking of? Axley, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Axley, my axe. But yeah, I think all of Midee stuff so far. He has one in the queue from Batman, the NES version of Batman. That's a solo mix. But so far, all of his 4 posted mixes are from are collaborations with Prozax. Do check out Axley, Kick My Axe as well. That also features Jeremy Johnson performing. Axley is another obscure, quote unquote, Konami shooter, but one that I think a few more people are familiar with. Relative to other obscure games, I think this one's a little bit more popular, maybe because it's a pretty sweet Super Nintendo game. They've also got a great FF7 collab, The 12th Commandment, and then Silver Surfer wanking with the Alien, and I'm a big fan of that because I'm a big fan of Jeff Fallon and Tim Fallon. Fallon brothers are amazing. Their stuff is awesome. Yeah, grab that too. Silver Surfer, brutal game. Angry Video Game Nerd rightly took a dump on it. But the music is phenomenal, and Tim Fallon is a genius and a legend. So that was originally a plug for Life Force Tactile Freefall by Midee and Prozax. But do look at some more of their stuff. Both Midee and Prozax have some solo arrangements that are waiting to be posted in the next few weeks, and we're certainly excited about that. So keep an eye out for those. Next up, Joshua Morse, jazz funk. He is a legend. He's a stud. And if you check out the Ragnarök online arrangements, most of them are his. Yeah, 4 out of 5. Always got one here with Pontera. But if you check him out, he's got 2 solo and then 2 collabs with One Up's member Anthony Lofton. They're all from Joshua Morse's Ragnarök Online album called Hybridism. It's a free album that you can check out at his Bandcamp. Be sure to grab all of the tracks on there. They're really phenomenal arrangements, sweet, great energy, great treatment, very sophisticated treatment of these source themes. The one I'm talking about tonight is Samurai Discotheque. The source tune is called "Can't Go Home Again, Baby." That's the formal name on the official album release. But I think one of the colloquial, names or whatever for it is Samurai Discotheque. So in this case, we allowed that name for the arrangement. But for the other stuff off Hybridism, where they were just kind of named after the original tracks, we had Joshua was cool enough to do just some minor tweaks to the names of those titles to make them more unique for OCR. So we've got Hamadatan. What's that? Yeah, Hamatan is Hamadatan, and then Brassy Road is now Brazzy Road. So that's that's the kind of stuff we're looking for. We don't need huge name changes, but we just need a little something just to stand apart from the original source tune. Sound Temp, for anybody looking for good video game music, do check out Sound Temp. It's a Korean music collective. I think for Ragnarök Online, we just have it listed as Sound Temp right there because there's no known breakdown of which composers did which songs, so we just got Sound Temp as a company on there. But do check out some more of their stuff. Just if you go to vgmdb.net, you can look up Sound Temp and see a little bit more of the albums that they've collectively put out, including the Ragnarök Online soundtracks. But Joshua Morse you know, one of the VGM arrangement scene's most talented musicians, for sure. And he was talented from the rip, but just he gets better and better. Um, you know, when it comes to jazz and funk and, you know, even smoother stuff, you know, velvety smooth stuff like his Sonic the Hedgehog remix, 50 Rings to Ride, you've got to check it all out. And he's got so many mixes up now. 33, damn. So, and he doesn't send everything he's made our way, but he sent a lot. All phenomenal. Just, you know, there's so many. Another obscure one that you should check out, because it's a remix of original music by an OC remixer. If you check out Electric Hot Slug from the iOS game Missile Master, that soundtrack was done by K Triton, Kunal Majmudar, and we've got another obscure game track right there, Electric Hot Slug. It's pretty sweet. There's some other Missile Master tracks on the site as well. You got to get it. But he's done. Joshua Morse has done a lot of stuff from a lot of huge titles. As you see, a lot of Castlevania, some Sonic, Donkey Kong Country, and Final Fantasy X right there, Zelda, Street Fighter. There's Battletoads, which is a little bit more obscure, but a lot of people know about Battletoads. So it's nice, though, to point out something where Ragnarök Online, it is a huge game, don't get me wrong, but just, you know, maybe stateside is not as huge. And again, we're talking about obscure relative to just the super most covered franchises that I mentioned at the top of the show. So, you know, if you dig a lot of Joshua Morse's stuff from the more famous games, you know, don't miss out on some of the other stuff that he's come out with from some more obscure titles. So next here, I love this track. I mentioned at the top of the show that we have, you know, we always from the get-go we've encouraged remixes from more obscure games. This Secret of Evermore arrangement from Audio Fidelity, Jay Yaskin and Jenny Fae Davis. This is from our Unsung Heroes album. It was directed by OA, Dragon Avenger, and Avarice. But it was specifically an album that focused on, it kind of implies what it is, unsung heroes. That's kind of a double entendre there. In that all the games on there are, most of them are RPGs, but it's covering a RPG and a little bit of platform action with ghouls and ghosts. But adventure and role-playing games that are a little bit more obscure and don't get much coverage in the scene. So you can go to unsung.ocremix.org and check out that album, 15 tracks. And as you see from the playlist there, I'm just highlighting that right there. You got stuff from Seven Saga, Saga Frontier, Willow, Phazanadu, Legacy of the Wizard, the first Lufia and the Fortress of Doom, Luminous Arc, the Prelude theme, which is the one track that was composed on that soundtrack by Yasunori Mitsuda of Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, Xenogears fame. Lord of the Rings, Volume 1 for the Super Nintendo, Bahamut Lagoon, I mentioned Ghouls and Ghosts, Breath of Fire, Ease 4, yeah, a lot of people say Wise, which is wrong, but Ease, that's more obscure, Persona 3, and then Suikoden. Just lots of great tracks on there. The team of artists on there are all phenomenal. And this was a particular standout track, again, arranged by Audio Fidelity with Jenny Fae Davis on flute. This is just, you know, a very gentle, very, like it says, somber, but very, very, just a very low-key vibe. Very contemplative. It's just an amazing, amazing listening experience. And it's from Secret of Evermore by Jeremy Soule, soundtrack by Jeremy Soule. And yeah, that was his first work with Square. He actually did that with Square USA. Yeah, back when he was still in his teens, which is just scary. I mean, because this music is actually really, really hot. We've only got a few Secret of Evermore remixes, not too many. We've got 5, but each of them are all worth checking out. So if you know Jeremy Soule more from the Elder Scrolls series, you know, stuff like that, because he's been part of that series for a while now with Morrowind and going on to up to Skyrim. But yeah, Shnaboobala's got 2, both excellent piano pieces, Anachronism and Canine Labyrinth. Highly recommend you check those out as well. And then Dark Sword has a Whisper and a Shadow, and Maze Dude has K-Pax Forevermore. All 5 great tracks, very relaxing pieces, all of them. Yeah, we actually haven't had any sort of kind of upbeat Secret of Evermore piece. It's very slow. It's got a very slow tempo to it, and it really adapts well to kind of some more relaxed pieces. But yeah, Jay, audio fidelity. Every time he gets kind of live performer, collaborators involved in his stuff, the results are just absolutely exceptional. I point to another arrangement of his that he did just real quick, going into the semi-obscure areas as well. Pirate Shout from the Secret of Monkey Island, which was part of the community's Heroes vs. Villains album. That was a team up with the Bad Dudes and OC Remix. So the Bad Dudes were the villains and OC Remix were the heroes. It was an excellent album, with one half of the album being hero themes and the other being the corresponding villain theme. So it's 2 mixes apiece from several different awesome franchises. There's Zelda, there's Street Fighter, Ninja Turtles, God of War, Castlevania. There's lots of stuff, but Monkey Island is probably maybe the most obscure that's on there, and well worth checking out. Again, Pirate Shout, that's audio fidelity. Collabing with Erik Griffin, Derek Meller, and Marcus Afelt, all on vocals, and also Erik with the recorder. Sweet pirate metal. If you like pirate metal, you gotta grab that. But like I said, with my original point, Secret of Evermore, Somber Memory. It's just put it on for your lady. If you need stuff that even your parents are gonna like, and I mean in the best way possible, super accessible to anybody. You could hear it on any radio station, maybe like NPR. I'm thinking of that vibe, and it would fit in absolutely perfectly, and is completely professional, and just one of the strongest things I've ever heard in the community ever. Super old school, McVaffe, who is a legend, with this Soul Blade piece called Jazz or Soul. Upbeat, loving it. Almost elevator music in a way, like light jazz, as DJ Pretzel mentioned in the in his comments. Soul Blade, for anybody that's played Soul Calibur for Namco, Soul Blade is the precursor to the Soul Calibur series. So that was on the PS1. Damn, we're getting old. So yeah, do grab this though. It's aged very, very well. It came out in 2000, so almost 14 years ago, which is insane. But OCR has been around that long. I mean, this thing came out when OCR was just not even, but almost 1 year old as a website. So and it holds up so well. This is remix number 194. I just love it, man. I mean, yeah, it's hey man, light jazz. I'm digging it, and if you check out the source tune itself and then kind of compare it with the remix, you really see the differences that McVaffe has with it. Again, if you want to search it out on YouTube, that's called Dragon's Call. Yeah, give it a whirl and check out the difference. I love it. It's just a great light jazz, hip hop. There he says right there. Yeah, piano hybrid. The piano lead sounds gorgeous, and is a track that'll get you moving for sure. Whether it's dancing or moving in your seat, it's all good. Before I get to the 10th remix that I wanted to show off tonight, I wanted to answer a couple of questions that are on Twitter. Again, if you have any questions real quick, you want to get them in real quick, I probably will see them. Hashtag OCR Talkback. Carl Servian asked, what made you choose the Super Nintendo controller for the OC Remix logo instead of something like an NES or Xbox controller? Well, DJ Pretzel's the one who designed the logo. We'd have to ask him to be 100% sure. But if you see right there, like on the home page, at the top left, you can see our headphone logo. I don't know. I mean, it's the Dogbone Super Nintendo controller. It's probably the most popular system. That certainly doesn't hurt. I don't know, the kind of the contours, the curvature of the dog bone controller looks really cool with the headphones. I really wouldn't mind seeing some other controller designs as like variations of our logo, but when you think of branding and all that stuff, you want to be consistent. So that's probably why we don't have like a Sega Genesis, the even more curved Sega Genesis controller, or NES controllers or stuff like that. But if anybody wants to see like T-shirts that have different types of controller silhouettes on there, we could certainly do that. We just have to know that there's interest. So if you want to see some of that, tweet at us and let us know what controller you want. Why didn't we use the Xbox controller? Well, OC Remix was founded in 1999, and the Xbox controller did not exist because the Xbox came out in 2001. So that answers that question right there. That certainly explains that. Earl Fiorito last week asked, will you ever genre tag music on the site so that I can search for a specific kind of music? Yeah, we're working on that, actually. If you go to the forums, it's not in the final form that we wanted it, but if you go in the forums, you have to go at the very bottom. There's the remix comments and reviews area. You'll see with each most of these threads, we're not done tagging everything yet, but you'll see with most of the threads, there's a little tag right here on the right-hand side. Looks like a tag. And if you hover over it, you see a tooltip for not only genres, but also instrumentation and mood. So you got to make sure to check that out. For example, with Super Metroid Lonely Petals, if you can see right there, I don't know if it shows the tooltip. Probably doesn't. But this is the solo piano mix by Drum Ultima. And the tags that we have on it are piano and then solo, as in solo instrumentation, one instrument. We've got a little bit lower. We've got Final Fantasy VI. A simple flip can change fate, and that's from our Balance and Ruin album. It's tagged with acoustic guitar, choir, mellow, and vocals male because it's got some oohs and ahs vocals from Steve-O that sound pretty awesome in there. So we're working on tagging stuff not just by genre, but like I said, by instrumentation and mood, so that it's not all about just simple genre search, but all sorts of other things that can be important. Some important things that people are looking for with their music. That said, we will never, ever, 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 we never, ever will. This is an FAQ. We will never tag remixes like actual with the MP3 files. We will never ever tag the remixes with just one genre in the genre field in that track. Like we say in the FAQ, and I'm highlighting it right there, there are many pieces that don't fit nicely into genres or have multiple genres. So there's so many hybrid tracks on OC Remix that you can't just call it jazz, or maybe the first half will be jazz and the second half will be orchestral. There might be a shift or something, or it's a combination of multiple genres, and it's stupid because you can't just use one genre. Or what is it the most of? Well, I mean, you can't. It doesn't fully describe the track, and that's not actually going to help people find it. If you use the word jazz and that's the only genre you tag it with, but then there's also some electronic or elements like that, or singing or vocals, you can't tag it with all of the descriptors that are important to that track. So we will never tag with single genres. We will always use multiple tags where we can. One of the reasons also that we've never done singular genre tagging is we want to open people's minds to new horizons. And I literally say this: try everything. Like, dude, don't be that snooty person where it's like, oh, I only played, Zelda, I only played Mario 64 and, Ocarina of Time, and, I don't want to try Streets of Rage. I've never played Streets of Rage. I didn't grow up on that, and, I don't want to do that. You're going to miss out on just so many amazing remixes that are, from other games. That's the whole point of what I've been showing y'all tonight, and you're certainly awesome for sticking with it and seeing, some recommendations like that. But, be the person that finds awesome music. Again, everything on OC Remix is 100% free. Here's an example of some awesome stuff we posted today from Katamari Damacy, a more modern game. It's came out a decade ago on the PS2. It's a modern classic in terms of video game music, for sure. The soundtrack is legendary. And DDR Kirby ISQ has Love Everlasting. We just posted it. It's mainly an arrangement of Lonely Rolling Star. If you've never played Katamari Damacy and you don't want to check it out, this is seriously your loss. Like, you're really making a huge mistake. Don't do it. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that's snooty and skips out on awesome stuff. We've got so many good tracks that you will never hear if you just stick to the super mega popular games. And for sure, especially if you've tried remixes from games that are already obscure, but they're obscure, but just you played it growing up. Like let's say ActRaiser, Yuzo Koshiro soundtrack, it's sweet, and you played ActRaiser for Super Nintendo, and you checked out some of the remixes and you like them. That's not as popular as Mario and Castlevania and Mega Man and Sonic, but check out other remixes of games like that. The last track I'm going to talk about, is from Touhou. The Touhou series from Perfect Cherry Blossom. It's called Icy Peaks, and it's by Justice Johnston, who is a one-hit wonder, much like Erik S. with that Awesome mix. Again, the game Awesome for the Amiga. Yes, there was a game called Awesome. This was our first Touhou arrangement from the Touhou series, and back in the day we were like, what is this? Because it was it was big in Japan, but we had no idea back in the day, and the internet wasn't as big as it was. This was posted in 2007. It's remix number 1569, and we had no idea what this stuff was, so we had to research it, make sure that it had a little bit of a following, and we posted it because the game ended up checking out that it had a following, and we just need to make sure that it had some sort of notoriety, which it does, and if anybody knows about Touhou now, you know that it's huge. In Japan, there are thousands upon thousands of Touhou remixes available, and that's because the composer Junya Ota, otherwise known as Zune, made all of the music free to arrange under a Creative Commons license, meaning anybody can arrange the music and profit off of it, and you do not need to pay Zune or the copyright holder, which is Zune, and because of that, there is a huge scene in Japan of just arranging Touhou series music. It's unbelievably insane. Sweet music. It's Midee, so it's kind of not that hot in the quality department as far as like sonic quality. But it's very well known in the East. And let me just make sure that you see. I mentioned DDR Kirby ISQ with the Katamari Damacy mix. He's got his own arrangement of stuff from the Touhou series from Subterranean Animism called Lullaby of Flame. I'm sorry, let me go back to that list, though. I apologize. So we don't have too many Touhou mixes. We only have 4. We do want more. Please send more in. We would love more. But we've got Perfect Cherry Blossom, the embodiment of Scarlet Devil, Phantasmagoria, Flower View, and Subterranean Animism represented. We'd certainly love to have some more. Hey, if you know Japanese and you know how to tug on some, doujin arrangers' sleeves, the doujin scene means the fan community, the fan-made creation scene. If you know any doujin musicians, we would certainly love to have, some more Touhou arrangements, or more people from the West tackling the Touhou series. Anyway, let me go back to that mix, though, from Perfect Cherry Blossom by Justice Johnston. It's an arrangement of Paradise Deep Mountain. It's called Icy Peaks. It's 4 violins multi-tracked together to sound like one performance. Easily one of the most beautiful mixes on Overclock Remix that's ever been submitted. Justice is an amazing player. It's also one of the shortest mixes on OCR, especially these days. Nowadays we not require, because you can get in a remix that's under 2 minutes. as long as the arrangement is super creative, everything is polished, and the performances or the production is tight. Obviously, you don't want to get repetitive with anything that's under 2 minutes, because that's you want to stay very substantive with that when you have a limited amount of time. Everything's got to be pretty on point. But it's rare these days to get a mix that's 2 minutes or less on OC Remix. We certainly have some. Anything under maybe 2.5 minutes is pretty rare, though. So this is a nice mix. It's super short. It's over really quick, but you will loop it over and over and over again. It's Icy Peaks. Just get it. Just get it. Like, literally, you don't need to know a damn thing about the Touhou series. Just grab it. You can play it for anybody. They're going to like it. If they like classical music, just well-performed, string quartet type of stuff, or in this case, not really string quartet, but just 4 violins layered together. It sounds on point. For being multi-tracked, it's amazing. You wouldn't be able to tell. You would think it was just 4 live performers, in concert together at the same time, and it's just impossible to tell that it's multi-tracked. It's so good. The Touhou series are all bullet hell shooters. They're crazy. I've played one for maybe like 2 seconds and died, but it's a lot of rote memorization of patterns and stuff like that to be able to get through. It's almost like something like Super Kaizo World in that sense. Like you need, or I Want to Be the Guy. Like you need rote memorization to remember the patterns, or otherwise you're going to die pretty quickly. So there's a lot of frustration in playing games like these. But if it turns out that you can have awesome arrangements like this from the music that Zune made, I think it's well worth it. And do keep in mind that Junya Ota Zune is the programmer of the Touhou series games as well. So he's not just the composer, but he's just the creator of the entire franchise. He's probably making like $11 billion. And hey, well worth it, man. They're really fun games. They're pretty awesome. If you want to tweet later, if you're watching this episode of OCR Talkback and you want to share some other obscure OC remixes of games that are a little bit more obscure compared to some of the stuff that we get a ton of, then definitely tweet your recommendations with hashtag OCR Talkback. We'll share them on future episodes. We always love people, fans that believe in video game music as an art form and that are willing to try OC remixes from games that they're not familiar with and willing to go out there and expand their musical horizons. Do it. Grab the torrents, do it, try everything. Whatever you don't like, just throw it in the trash. And whatever you do like, keep it, pass it on, let other people know about it. And, one thing you can do if you're super awesome is you can get on the forums and you can post just a quick review. It doesn't have to be an essay. It doesn't have to be super technically versed. But just letting the remixers know that you like what they're doing, it really goes a long way into keeping them motivated and just knowing that fans are out there enjoying what they're making. And even for stuff like this, like I'm on Adventure Island Tribal Warfare by Ubik, made in 2004. But if you want to post a comment about something like that now, it's awesome, man. Like I think Brian would see that people are still enjoying this kind of stuff, and that's always awesome for the artists to celebrate their creativity and their hard work. Always good stuff. So make sure sign up for the forums. I always recommend that. Do it. You can post requests of video game themes that you want to see get made. Always recommend that you do that. It's not uber likely that you're going to get a request fulfilled, but every so often a remixer is kind enough to fulfill those requests. Anyway, thanks a lot, you guys, for tuning in. It's been a great show. I've really enjoyed talking with you. Thanks a lot for the questions as well with hashtag OCR Talkback. We'll have a show with our cavalcade of superstars maybe next week. But in the meantime, be cool. Try everything out that OC Remix has to offer. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Tell Randy Gonzalez we're coming. Let them know. And be adventurous, man. Just be cool, be adventurous, and enjoy the music. Thanks a lot for listening. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.